Hello and welcome to the Last Word on Spurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live on YouTube, of course. If you're listening to the show for the first time, you can find us on iTunes. We're on Spotify, on Audio Boom. We're across a range of different audio platforms. We're on Twitter at Last Word on Spurs. We're on Facebook and Instagram too. Back alongside me, as always, I've got my co-host for lots of these transfer shows. I've got Jamie Brown for the Daily Hotspur. Jay, how are you?
Apart from being a Spurs fan, Ricky, I'm all okay, thank you. So, looking forward to the show again. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. And also delighted to be welcoming back to the channel. We've got the great Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio, how are you firstly?
Hi guys, all good, all good. Thank you. Crazy days, but all good.
Fantastic. We laugh and joke. I know lots of comments today have said this is going to be a short show. No joking aside, this will be a very, very short show. This is going to be a quick update on where Spurs are currently in this January transfer window. We are recording on the 28th of January. So far, Spurs, not a single signing this window. Lots of frustration, lots of disappointment so far in terms of Spurs going for players and not happening. Fabrizio, I have to firstly ask you, bearing in mind where we are at the moment in this window, I hope you can understand, obviously, there's a lot of frustration amongst Spurs fans. Can you tell us if you know the mood around Antonio Conte and whether he's still happy at the club, given the lack of signing so far?
To be honest, guys, I 100% agree with you. With Tottenham fans, it's a crazy situation. And also on my side, I'm not in the board, so I'm not controlling transfers. But as an opinion, I was expecting Tottenham to have already made some signings, if at least one. So I had the same expectation as I see many Tottenham fans. But this is the market in particular in general. What I can tell you is that there is not, from what I'm told as of today, a big fight. Antonio will comment the market together with Fabio Paratici at the end. So it will be on Tuesday, not now. He knows how Fabio many times showed how also in few days he can do something important. So he's not going to comment anything now. He knows that transfer market in general is complicated. So I'm told that when they met in November, Antonio was told, don't expect something crazy or super big in January, but the real project is for the summer. Don't expect something huge for January. It doesn't mean don't expect nothing, anything like it is happening right now. So I'm sure that he wants something and he's going to push to have something, and Tottenham will do something because they will. But at the same point, it's not easy at the moment.
If Spurs are able to bring in some players this month, what are kind of the key positions that they'll be looking to bring in this month? Of course, we're linked with the right wing back, central midfielder and striker. What's your understanding of the positions they're targeting?
No, they started this market with the idea to go for a centre-back. This was the priority. Then week by week, day by day, the decision, together with Antonio and Fabio Paratici and Daniel Levy, the world board, was to go on different kind of players. So Antonio asked immediately after looking at the world situation for a right wing back. So this is why he wanted a player like Adama, who's been the priority for more than 1 month. Then midfielder. So midfielder was another opportunity, a player with really clear skills, player ready for the Premier League, running around the pitch. This is what kind of player Antonio needs for his football. And this is why Sofiane Amrabat. So this has been the change of the strategy. They wanted a centre-back also because Tanganga was expecting to go to AC Milan, but then AC Milan decided to change the strategy too. So it's been a really complicated market in general. Let me say, look also at other clubs. It's a domino. Clubs are waiting to sell players, to offload players, and then sign new players. But if you're not selling, you're going to have problems. And this is what's happening for Tottenham. So let's say if today something will happen on outgoings, because I expect something to happen on outgoings in the coming hours. It's too important for Tottenham.
Okay, Fab. Conscious of time, so I'm going to put two into one here. Luis Diaz, Adama, Traore, both players over the last few days. Adama looked one that was close to being done, seems to have fallen through. It looked like talks were progressing fairly well with Luis Diaz, but that seems to have also fallen through. Can you just give us an update as to how both of those have quickly fallen through?
Yes, it's been mad. It's been really mad because last week. Adama was close. Adama was close to join Tottenham. It was not close. It was not done deal, but it was close. The feeling was confident on all sides of the negotiation. Then what happened during the weekend? From what I'm told, they were not agreeing any fee yet. So Tottenham wanted to spend around £50 million. Wolves wanted to receive around 22, 23 million pounds. So there was no agreement. Tottenham were not happy with this value because the player is out of contract in 2023 and was pushing to leave the club. And then what happened? That his agent spoke with Barcelona, had this opportunity to bring the player to Barca. After with Tottenham, they were waiting. And we know that Fabio Paratici works on many players at the same moment. And this is why the agents of Adama were exploring the market at the same point. And when Barcelona arrived and decided to go for Adama on loan with buy option, the player said, let's do it. I want to go to Barcelona immediately. And this is how the situation changed. The player, when Barcelona called him, he immediately said, I want to go to Barca. It's his former club. So this is what happened. And talking about Luis Diaz, has been crazy because, to be honest, this one has been a Far West negotiation, let me say. Really crazy one. Tottenham were really pushing on this one. They made an opening proposal around 35 million with some add-ons, not 20 million add-ons as Liverpool are offering now, but less money, but it was a good proposal. But Porto were not happy with that proposal. The player was open. He always said, I want to go to Premier League. So he was happy with Tottenham proposal. He was happy to go. But the point was between clubs. And then while Tottenham were preparing their second proposal, because Tottenham wanted to do a second proposal, in the same moment, really final stages to prepare the second proposal, Liverpool made their first proposal, and was a huge one. Porto were happy with that proposal, and of course Liverpool are playing Champions League. Liverpool are super attractive for a winger in general, playing with players like Salah, Mane. They will have the opportunity to sign an important winger for the future, and this is what happened. It's been really crazy for Tottenham.
Just another quick rumour. There was talk of Spurs had offered to make a move for Alvaro Morata last night. Is that a player that you understand that Spurs are looking at this month?
I'm told that there is no proposal from Tottenham for Alvaro Morata, and they expect Alvaro Morata to have huge chances to stay at Juventus till the end of the season. So I think the real priority for Tottenham will be a different kind of player now. Midfielder, right wing back, and then let's see if they will have some other opportunity.
So just sticking on midfielder there, obviously Sofiane Amrabat is a player that we've been strongly linked with. Then of course Frank Kessié and Weston McKennie are two other midfielders that we have also been linked with. Do you see a midfielder arriving at Spurs this month?
To be honest, yes. I still see Tottenham going for a midfielder. You spoke about Kessie, but as always said here, AC Milan are not contemplating to sell a player in January, and same for player side. So they want to continue together till the end of the season and see what happens as free agent. Talking about McKennie, he's untouchable for Juventus. He's a starter now for Allegri, so there was no possibility to sign him. The other player you mentioned, Sofiane Amrabat, is a serious possibility. Is still a serious possibility for Tottenham. Is not done. Also in this case, they're waiting to complete an outgoing. So I know that for Tottenham fans, it's not easy to hear these words, but this is what's the reality now. They're waiting to complete some outgoing, and so Ndombele to Paris Saint-Germain on loan with buy option, but they're still in negotiation. It's not done yet. So they're still in negotiation for Ndombele. And at that point, they could be able to complete Sofiane Amrabat deal. What's the point? That they have their proposal ready, loan with buy option 16 million euros. But other clubs are now exploring the opportunity because Fiorentina don't want to arrive to the deadline day and maybe face the risk of having Amrabat still in their team. They want him to go. And so they are exploring on Fiorentina side other possibilities for the player. So Tottenham have to be fast. You know why I say it's a domino. It's really complicated.
Yep. Fabrizio, you touched on outgoings a second ago. So can you just give us an update then on Lo Celso and Ndombele, Dele Alli? Are any of them likely to leave as things stand at the moment?
So for Lo Celso, let's see what happens in the coming days with the opportunities on loan. But at the moment, I'm told no Fiorentina, not true. Let's see if they will have some other opportunity. Ndombele, Paris Saint-Germain, at the moment, they're pushing to have a buy option included, and they're discussing on the value of the buy option. Tottenham want the whole salary paid. Tottenham are still confident to do this deal with Paris Saint-Germain. So Ndombele and PSG is still a thing that they are discussing, but it's not done yet. Dele Alli will leave. I'm sure that Dele Alli within Monday will leave the club on loan, also in this case. Let's see what happens with Everton manager. Let's see what happens with Southampton. They're also interested. Newcastle at the moment is not something so close, but I'm sure that Dele will leave on loan before Monday.
So just a couple more departures. Steven Bergwijn, he's still linked with a move to Ajax. And then, of course, there's a couple of defenders, Matt Doherty, Joe Rodon and Japhet Tanganga. Are there any updates on those four players?
Talking about Tanganga, at the moment, the situation is clear. AC Milan are not going for him. And so I think he has also chances to stay at the club. Let's see what happens in the final hours. But he has chances now to stay at the club. The other players you mentioned to me?
Matt Doherty, Joe Rodon, Steven Bergwijn.
Yes, for Bergwijn, it's important to say that Ajax want to push again for Bergwijn. They are still hoping to bring Bergwijn at the club. But the real problem is that at the moment they have no agreement with Tottenham. Tottenham want around 25 million euros. Ajax are arriving around 18, 19. And so the moment is still not agreed. It's not an easy one. For the others, let's see what happens, because Doherty was a player that they had in the list to leave in January. But then Antonio started to use him, and maybe he could have opportunities to stay. So I expect really busy and crazy days at Tottenham, guys, and hours, I would say, because they'll need to do something. They need to do something. They want to do something. Let me say, in this crazy and difficult situation, because it's a difficult situation, I'm sure that Paratici is the best person to do it, because he's used to deal with many players at the same moment. So he's not a director that has only one option. I'm sure that he has some backup option ready. Let's see what will be the names, what will be the options, but I'm sure that in the coming hours, Tottenham will do something.
I hope you're right, Fab. I hope you're right. Right, final two from me, then we'll close the show. There's been a few players at the Tottenham over the last 24, 48 hours. Andrea Cambiaso, Diego Carlos, Tariq Lamptey. Any truth on those players?
Diego Carlos stays at Sevilla. Cambiaso is something that could be for the future. It's not a priority for January as of now. Then, in crazy hours, everything can happen. But Cambiaso is one for the future. And talking about Lamptey, is a player that they have in the list. They really appreciate him. The problem is Brighton. Brighton are not intention to sell Lamptey in January. If they will change their stance, Tottenham will be for sure on the player because they like him.
Okay, gut feeling for you, Fab. Last question. How many players do you think Spurs will sign by that deadline?
I still say the same I said here in December and the beginning of January. I would say 2 or 3 players. This is my expectation, 2 or 3.
Okay, Fabrizio, lovely having you here. Thank you so much for the quick update. We look forward to having you back on the show very soon. From myself, from Jamie at the Daily Hotspur, and from Fabrizio, guys, keep the faith. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Ciao, guys.